Boom, boom. This is Kendra. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a little bit of Azur Lane up today. So we haven't done an Azur Lane video in a while. That's primarily because the event that they've got running up right now is a rerun event. So there's really not a lot going on in terms of any new stuff. So we've got the Northern Overture. This is a rerun event, as it says right here. This is basically just get Northern Parliament ships. In case you don't know, Northern Parliament is just basically Russian fleet. They've got their you've got their same type. You've got the Eagle Union, which is United States military, United States Navy ships, and then you've got Dragon Emperor, which they just had in the previous video. That's Chinese ships, and then you've got Secret Empire, which is of course Imperial Japanese Navy. So that's what the thing here is. Iron Blood is German and whatnot. So this is Northern Parliament, which is the Russian ships. We still have not got the actual flagship for the Northern Parliament yet. That's Sovetskaya Soyuz. They've teased her a couple of times. She's been mentioned in a couple of events as being, available. It's just they have not released her yet. She'll most likely be a UR ship released probably sometime, hopefully this year, because I guess they're going to do about four. I got to get 4 UR ships planned for this year. So we'll have to see, but hopefully that. So it's basically just a rerun. So you probably already got this stuff. I had already had all the ships. As you can see, I've already I completed this all previously. But I already had the 3,400. I've already maxed out all of the ships for this event. So there's nothing in here to get. Manju Factory. Just to get a new piece of furniture, just 7 days. Really simple stuff, as you can see. And it is of course a rerun as well as everything else. So it's all rerun stuff. So there's nothing in terms of new, except that they do have the season, the cruise going on, of course, fair winds. So you can achieve those and you can get Junju as a reward in that, which is pretty nice. The meta ships for the past couple through the fair winds past couple have not been bad ships. They've been a little bit better than the previous ships, but still not quite top tier ships that we're looking for. Basically just generally ends up being a slight buff over the previous version, but hopefully we'll get some really good stuff. All right, so like I said, you've probably got all the ships for this. It's most likely nothing new. So there is a few new things here. One thing that you'll notice is we now got the ability to get ship building support tickets. And these are available only through the actual event. So this is really nice. I hope they start doing this through all the events. Simply because of the fact that it allows you to build a ship without having to use cubes, your wisdom cubes. So it could be very useful in that terms. So they've got the build up. If you don't have any of the ships, I suggest you go for all of these ships. They're all really good ships. Pamiat is excellent, especially after you get her retrofitted, because she just is a beast after that. She has a massive amount of evasion, very, very difficult to kill. Sovetskaya Rozia, pretty good. Tashkent, Shapiyev, and Grozny, and Aurora. So they're all really good ships. So I would suggest trying to get them all. You got Grozny, probably the worst ship out of the group, but because Pamiat is elite, but once you get her retrofit, she's well above that. So that's one that you definitely want to focus on maxing out. And of course the others are SR ships. So 4 SR ships inside this pool. But like I say, I've already got them all, already got them built, so it's nothing. But you could use the shipbuilding ticket here. And like I say, you don't have to use your actual cubes. So I'm hoping that this becomes a common theme within the actual events. This would be nice if they'd had this on a UR event as well. Even though I do have enough cubes to, of course, take part in the next UR, you want to make sure that you do keep at least a minimum of 200 on hand, so that if they do come up with an event, UR ship event, you'll be able to guaranteed to get the pity. Although I've never actually had to reach the pity, I've always gotten it before the pity has element. I got really, really close on Shinano. I mean, I think at 189, I think, when I finally got her. I did, in that event, it actually turned out to be the coinage that ended up hurting me at that one. I was so focused on obtaining the cubes and stuff, I realized that I might not have enough gold to actually do the build, because when you do a build, it does not just cost wisdom cubes, as you can see here. It costs coinage for each one. So that's a lot of that's a lot of coins if you're going up to 200 bids. That's 200 builds, so that can add up really quick. So you got to make sure that you definitely have enough coins as well. So going into any event with those you want to make sure you have at least 200, and you want to make sure that your gold is close to maxed out, so that you will be able to do that. But yeah, so these are really good ships. So I would definitely get it. It's good. The fleet's going to be much, much, much better once they get us the flagship. And now, as you can see, we've got the makings of a team right now. You've got Sovskaya Belarus. You can actually substitute her in as one of your fleets. Pamiat, this is Pamiat after the retrofit. As you can see, she is an SR. She goes up from epic to legendary once you do the once you do the retrofit. And they've got a pretty good fleet. Tashkent is really good as well. Tashkent U and Tashkent very similar. A lot of people say Tashkent U is slightly better. I find Tashkent regular to be slightly better, and I do use her. I do have as you can see, I do have a fleet that I do run with the Northern Parliament. I don't use it very often because, like I say, I don't have their flagship yet, so a little hesitant as to which ones to focus on, because once we get the flagship, that's all, of course, going to change. But for the time being, you definitely want to focus on Pamiat. You want to get her retrofit completed. So get her retrofit completed. Bring up Talon's another excellent. She's been around for ages. You definitely want to make sure that she's maxed out as well. I found some of Skylanders to be actually pretty good. Okay, so I would go ahead and bring her up too. Okay, so Sovskaya Belarus and Pamiat, Talon, and Revor, and then after that, I would go for Tashkent next. Okay, then Sovskaya Rossi, she's not bad either, but I really haven't failed much in terms of a lot of these are already backliners, so there's really not a whole lot to fill the backline with in terms of that. Plus, they're going to be coming out with Sovskaya Soyuz, who's going to be the flagship, so you're going to have a lot of backline choices for that. But I did bring her up, so I would choose her next. Shapiev is pretty good, as well as is Kirov. And what's really nice about this fleet is the epics aren't that bad either. Okay, they're not super to write home about. But Strematelny and Murmansk are actually pretty good as well too. As you can see, I bring Murmansk already up to 100. So there you can make a fleet out of what you got here, but you don't have the flagship. The flagship, of course, is going to give you damage and buffs. But there are other ships that you can use to substitute for a flagship within that fleet. But it's a good event. It's got a good shot. I'm going to, I don't need, of course, purchase anything in terms of the ships or anything. So I haven't really been hitting it that hard. I'm going to get the standard 25, 30 that I need. I'll purchase the blueprints for the guns. And of course, get everything else. Of course, get my blueprints and snatch up the parts just like always. But that's all. You don't have to worry about the ships. But Minsk and Shabiev are in there if you want to get them. But since I've got them both already maxed out, I don't really need it. You do definitely want to take the intel report. This is a good item right here. Okay, and the guns are pretty good as well too, so that's something to get. And you can see they're entering the shipbuilding tickets in here. Something interesting, they did not put cognitive arrays in here. They do have the cog chips, but they don't have the arrays. And it looks like they replaced the arrays with the shipbuilding ticket. Okay, so like I say, so make sure you use any of these that you have, because after the event ends, they're gone. So you will not be able to utilize them afterwards. This is for the event only. So it's an event-specific ticket, which makes lead me to believe that they will probably be starting to offer this through all the new events that we get as well. And it's nice. It helps. It helps if you're running low on cubes and running low on gold. It helps that you have a ticket that you can just use to do the build with. But they don't give you a lot of them. Okay, you're not going to see a whole bunch of them. They had a little event in here. Did it already disappear? they had a little three-phase event in here uh, that you could actually get one, but I don't see it at this point. So, no. But it was offered. They offered. We got about say probably about I don't know probably I think I've seen about 9 so far that were offered, roughly, maybe between 6 to 9 of them were given to you, just given to you through the event. I mean, I think they gave you 3 when you logged on, and it was 3 that you could run from that little event to get 3 more. And then they offered 1 or 2 as well that are easy to get inside of the actual missions. I think there's 1 more in the missions actually. No, today was there will be some inside the missions, and here's one right here. So when you clear the SP, you'll be able to get another one as well. But yeah, so that's a nice little change. I hope they keep that out. But yeah, so this is all rerun event. There's nothing new in here, but I would definitely participate in it because all the ships are pretty good ships. Some a little bit better than others, but in terms of building, building a Northern Parliament fleet, there's definitely some ships that you want inside of here. So the build is going to be up. Oh, where's the build back out? Build. So the build's going to be up until the 16th. So it's going to be up. It's going to end tomorrow evening. So this will be gone. So make sure that you do all of the builds that you need, so that that you have all the ships. So that when they do introduce the flagship, you'll be able to start building. But I think this has the potential to be a pretty good fleet in terms of. We'll have to see what what they give us in Savat Sky Suez if she's UR, which everybody's thinking that she will be. Some people are speculating she'll be the next UR. I don't think she will be the next UR. I got a feeling the next UR ship will most likely be an HMS, Her Majesty's Service. So I think that's what you're going to see next, Royal Navy, which is a British counterpart. So I think that's probably what we're going to see in terms of, a lot of people were expecting that to come out in this particular, the UR that was introduced this time around, but it didn't. So we're thinking that she'll come out in this one. So in terms of the UR ships, we've got a pretty good set coming out right now. So the last one that I wasn't particularly too fond of Shibaka's. I really just didn't see the need for a destroyer in a UR ship, but she's got pretty good evasion and she could do a pretty good amount of damage. Of course, Auric, which is the last one that came out, was a welcome addition right here. I haven't got her up to 125 yet. I'm still building her up. But she's a definite entrance into the Ironblood fleet. I already had a pretty good Ironblood fleet. She just makes it better. I was having a little problem with the backline in terms of my Ironblood fleet. I was pretty flexible with it. What I would do, the standard was always the standard. Bismarck at the center. Then I'd put FDG on one of the bookends, and then I would swap out Tirpitz, who's there right now, or Graf Zeppelin, depending on what I want. Graf Zeppelin's an aircraft carrier. So pretty much now I'm just going to start using Ulrich here. So I'll have 3 battleships in the back. So anytime you go into Operation Siren, you will find that some of the actual bosses inside of Operation Siren have resistances, like greatly reduces aviation damage. So basically, you do not want to take a carrier into that particular boss because things might not go well. But you can bombard them, and they have no resistance. I've never seen one that has a full resistance to both. So make sure that when you go into Operation Siren, you can have 4 fleets in Operation Siren. I always carried 2. I carried 2 battleship fleets, and then I carry 2 carrier fleets, so that I have options and damage to do against both, and I'm moving through Operation Siren just fine. Now, what I want to talk about today was retrofits. I got a lot of people talking to me about this retrofit. This is a retrofit that you definitely want to do. This makes Yudichi a UR version ship, and she's a beast when she gets this retrofit. So that's a retrofit that you want to focus on. Pamiat, you want to focus on Pamiat as well as terms of retrofit. Now, in terms of the retrofit on the previous event, we had the 2 ships for the Dragon Emperor. Yes, I would do the retrofit for both these. As you can see, I have. I did not do the final step. The final step in the retrofit is to take them to main fleet mode switch, which allows you to switch between putting them in the back line, the main line, and the vanguard. Their standard vanguard. Main line's just not useful for these 2 ships. It's just not. Okay? Because of the missile that they have, each of these ships should be equipped with a missile, and each of these ships should have the seal on them, because that's what makes them good. These are Anshan class ships, so increases their main damage by 16%. And I don't even have this thing maxed yet, so it's good. So it's a really, really, really good item, and you want to get a missile. The missile can be, you'll get 1 missile from the actual, you should have got 1 missile from the actual event that we just had, but you can get the other one inside of the, I think it's the actual, no, it's not, yeah, it should be, I think it's right here in the core shop. I already purchased it. Yeah, so they only offered 1, so I purchased it on the last thing, so they don't have any more, I don't think. Or is it a merit? Yeah, it's actually inside of the core shop. Hopefully it'll come back. I thought it was going to be a standard entry inside of there, but it does not appear that it's going to be. Here it is right here, the missile. And I purchased another one of the Seal of the 4 Gods, so I've got both a seal and a missile on each of the ships. So my assumption is this will be a standard thing. So when this resets in 14 days, we should have the option to purchase another one of the seals and another one of the missiles in case you came up short. But I would definitely go ahead and purchase one inside of here. It makes them a lot better. But we'll have to see. Are they something that you want to start using? It's mixed. I tell you, I've had guys come out and say that they're totally awesome. These and the advice that I'm getting from some of these people are accurate. They know what they're talking about. And then I've had people, good, knowledgeable, know about the game really well, come out and say that it's not that great. It's just one of those things. To be quite truthful with you, the fleet, the Dragon Emperor fleet is, you're really going to have. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to build with something else. You're going to have to. There's no flagship. You can get buffs with the number of ships and the types of ships. So you can build a fairly decent, what I would call a Dragon Emperor majority fleet. But in the end, you're going to need something for your flagship on the back, maybe New Jersey or something like that, to actually fill the flagship position. I don't think we're going to get a Dragon Emperor flagship. Okay, there are several ships that from the Russian that could actually do that. Dragon Emperor is Chinese. Chinese really, until just recently, they really didn't have that big of a navy. So there's really not a whole lot you can look for. But the northern part of them does, which is Russia, does have a lot of ships that can make a fleet. So I would focus on them before I would focus on the Dragon Emperor. But the 2 ships, you definitely want to do the retrofit because it does make them more powerful and it does make them more versatile. But nobody I've seen, both agree that don't put them in the main line. Too much of a loss putting them in the main line because they lose a lot of what makes them very versatile on the front line with their missile and whatnot. So you definitely want to make sure that you do keep them in the vanguard, which is where they should be, and not put them in the main line because it just takes away your damage, and that's not what you're looking for. I'm going to go ahead and bring them up. As you can see, I'm working on them right now. I might give it a try, but we'll have to see. Now, Actually, in the previous event, the ship that you wanted to actually go for, the two of the best ships, uh, were actually not Dragon Emperor ships. They were actually HMS ships. Uh, and so Bristol turns out to be a throwback ship, very good ship if you're going for into your upper levels, because she has the ability to remove the stealth, and you will be seeing ships with stealth inside of. Uh, they said 13 and 14, but I only think it's inside of 14. But you will be seeing stealth ships. She has the ability to help negate that somewhat, so that's what she's for. And then Charybdis was the other one. Pretty good ship as well too. So those were sort of late game ships. So if you Bristol's good, but there's just other stuff. But if you're a new character and you've got mid-level fleet, she would be an excellent choice. I would suggest definitely maxing her out. But there are better choices if you're a veteran player. Like I've got most of the ships. There's still some ships I haven't got, but I've got most of the ships. So, but they were two good ships. I would definitely suggest getting both and leveling them up. And like I said, from this one, excellent fleet. I love the Northern Parliament fleet. I wish they would give it a little bit more. I was really hoping that Sivaskai Suez was going to be the UR ship that they introduced. I was not expecting a UR ship for the Ironblood. Just was not expecting it. Didn't seem to strike me as something that they needed. They already have an excellent fleet. It's my most powerful fleet, roughly right up there with my Eagle Union fleet. I mean, with FGD, priority ship, who's gracing the screen right now. And then you've got Bismarck at the center, and you've got Tirpitz, which is a huge damage dealer, or Graf Zeppelin if you want to go for the carrier. The front line is just awesome with Rune Yu, and Prince Heinrich. You got no problems whatsoever. They all three throw up shields. It's ridiculous. The whole front line is shielded. The Vanguard lasts forever. So there's really, I really didn't see the need for a ship, a UR caliber ship. And it's already on the fleet, but I could see where they got it from. But I'm expecting they really have not given the Royal Navy much of anything. Okay, in terms of anything new lately, they really have, as they were saying, they have shown no love to the Royal Navy as of recently. I would like to see a UR ship, and I would like it to actually be Queen Elizabeth. That's who I think should be the next the ship that comes out of there. She's the only flagship that's actually an epic ship. Okay, she just is. That's what she is, Queen Elizabeth. She's an epic. So give us an SSR version of her, or at least give us a double tiered retrofit so that we can make her UR ranked ship. Because I think all the flagships should be UR ranked. Just from being, what they are, which is flagships. But yeah, she's still an epic ship. So we're hoping that they're going to give us something from the HMS, and they probably will. I think that'll be the next UR fleet because enough people were upset that they didn't do it this time. But we'll have to see. So it's a rerun fleet. There's some good stuff in the shop. Go for it. A lot of people have already completed it. But if you didn't, it's definitely one worth going for and worth playing on. Max it out, get everything that you can, get all the ships, complete the limit breaks, and you can be able to make a really, really, really good fleet out of it. Okay? So thanks a lot for watching. Remember to subscribe. Once you subscribe to see the bell, click on it. You'll be notified each time I drop a video. Also, remember to like and share the video, as it does help the channel immensely. This is Kenra coming at you from the corner, signing out.